Alrighty, good evening. This will be another delivery in my COVID series, COVID-19. The reason is, for those who know, since we're all locked up and cooped up, your mind starts thinking all kinds of stuff. And I thought about, just sharing some stories of in my younger days, or either growing up or being young, etc. And so this story is called Baster and Stimpie. Now, some of you may know Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy. Well, it's kind of sort of where Stimpy came from. But Buster was Stimpy's brother. So what happened back in 95, we moved into a new house. And as a house present, a gift, my brother decided that he's going to surprise us. And my youngest brother decided he's going to surprise us and give us a dog as a present. Well, as it turns out, when they went to the kennel, we didn't know this. When he went to the kennel, there were two dogs, two brothers. And so he decided, well, it's not fair to split the brothers. Let's just give them both dogs. Well, it turns out that these were beagles. I didn't know what a beagle was at the time. I mean, you see beagles in movies and pictures, but that's about it. So anyway, that's when this story starts with this present, Buster and Stimpy. So Buster was, I would say the not so clever one. He was a little bigger. And then, of course, Stimpy was his brother. He's the little runt, I guess. He was a smaller little dog, but he was pretty clever. He had some brains. And the whole problem with beagles, as you probably know, is they are fairly intelligent, but they are really supposed to be little hunting dogs. And they just howl and howl and howl all day, all night long for no reason. So it turns out that, after a while, you realize that you cannot sleep at night because you would just wake up and dogs would be howling, and the one would stop, the other one would start up, and like, what is going on? I mean, they're not barking or anything. So you would come outside and then they stop. They just stand there. In the middle of the night. Okay, now you go back to bed, and 10 minutes later, and you're like, what in the world? So I got fed up at this, and so after a few days, I thought, I would run out here and with my stick trying to chase them down the backyard. But 12 o'clock at night, you'll break your neck. So I figured, okay, hang on. And so they would love to sit here under the window of the second story, and just for no reason. I guess that's where they see the moon or something. So I eventually took a bucket of cold water and just left it there by the window. And if they would start yelling and crying in the middle of the night, I would get up and I will take this bucket of water, open the window, and just try and dump it on them. I know PETA won't like me if they hear what I'm trying to do to those dogs, but they just won't stop. They drove me nuts. So anyway, the next phase in the story is of course where, of course, my wife took the dogs to the vet, and they had to be, got the injections and so on and so forth. And so, I mean, we aren't cruel people. No, we're not. But anyway, so the vet's close by. There's a little vet close by the house, and so they knew the dogs pretty well. And so anyway, so she got a call at work one day. Well, you have to come get the dogs. Well, what happened? Well, it turns out these beagles, another thing that nobody knew, or I didn't know at least, they love to dig. They are the best diggers in the world. You cannot keep them inside a fence. It's not possible. So they would dig under the fence or wherever they get out. I just don't know. And they would, instead of going somewhere, no, they go straight to the main street. And they blocked the whole neighborhood cars. The whole big road coming down that was blocked. And cars were honking, and people were corralling and chasing these dogs. And eventually the vet's office is right on the main street. And they came out to see what the commotion was. And they saw these two dogs and realized, well, these are the dogs. We know whose dogs those are. And so they helped and corralled, and they like, hey, yeah, here's some cookies and bones. And eventually they got hold of the dogs. Luckily for us and them, I guess. And so gave my wife a call. Hey, you better come get your dogs here. They were causing a commotion. Now, this is not the first time that they got out. Make no mistake. This was just the first main time that they caused a major traffic, I guess, a blockage here on the road. And I looked all over. I couldn't find any holes in the fence. There are no holes. I mean, they just dig. They like little, I don't know, like little ninjas. You don't know. I mean, they can. The dog is this tall, but he can squeeze himself underneath of a little hole this small. Anyway, so I got fed up with this. That's it. Can't do this no more. So I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that what you can do is, well, hang on. Let me. What you can do is you buy an electric fence, and it has a power supply. And you plug it into the mains, and then you wire this wire, the electric wire, all around your backyard. I did this. Thought, okay, this is going to be great. That will stop them from digging, because when they start to dig, the one wire is close to the bottom, and the other one is just like, I think, anyway. So they would have to be shocked before they can get out. I'm hoping. So I did it. It was like over the weekend, maybe a Saturday, I don't know. And that evening, it wasn't even dark yet, like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. We were inside watching TV or something, and then all of a sudden we went, like, oh, I got my first customer. Let's go check it out. So we're all peeping out the top window down on these dogs on the backyard. And here's Baster, the dumb one. And he's standing next to the wire. He probably wanted to dig or started to dig or something. And he got his ear caught on the wire, on the electric wire. And he's too stupid to pull away. He just stands there. I wouldn't say we're cracking up, but we are kind of, because we are sick and tired of this. Of course, I guess my wife said, oh, shame or something. And it took little Stimpy to come and like nudge his brother, like, get away, bro, get away, you're going to die. And so an hour later, we hear again, and so we look. So they tried the whole fence. They were trying the whole afternoon while the sun was still shining. They tried to see where can they get out. Now they realized something has changed because it hurts them now. And so, but that was good. So that night they still cried, but I figured, okay, I'll think of some other way to stop that. So anyway, so the morning, I walk into the kitchen, and I kind of like feel the other thing what the dogs did is they would, Stimpy specifically. Now, if you knew what let me show you what my back door looks like. It's one of those doors where they have. They have these little windows. Now, of course, right now what you see is, I've got a kind of like a little curtain in front. But without that, you see right through into the kitchen. So what the dogs would do is they would come and jump up on the back door, scratch the back door, of course, and they would try and look in. So Stimpy, even though he's the smallest one, he's like up there and like he's got the one eye doing this, like what is going on in there? So I figured, okay, I'm going to stop because they're scratching my door and then they start barking and they just go nuts. So what I did is I bought it or we had it, I can't remember. So I took the doghouse and what I did is I placed it right at the back door. So they can't get to the door to jump on the door and scratch on the door and try and peep through the windows, right? I pushed it right up to the door, and so when you go in, you just kind of like pull the doghouse, and then and once the doghouse is up there, you just close the door, no big deal. So the one morning I came into the kitchen to make coffee or something, and I get this feeling like something's watching me. And I look around, and here is Stimpy on top of the doghouse, just staring right through the door windows, like, hey, what's going on in there? What you doing? So he figured out, okay, if you can't get to the door, just jump on top of the house, and then you stand there and you look and see what the people are doing on the inside. Okay, fine. You got me there, Stimpy. You got me. But so I came home one day or one evening, I forgot what, and the dogs were gone. Well, they got out. But I have an electric fence. How's this possible? How did this happen? So I will draw your attention to I guess the bottom left or bottom right, bottom left of your screen. Anyway, my I guess my right shoulder over here, and you see this power supply that supplies. You plug this into mains, and then it has the high voltage lines, that the wires that you connect it to, and it runs all across, wired all around the property. Well, look what happened. You see there at the bottom there? Those, my dear friends, let me see if I can. I'll tell you what I'll do. Just for the sake of this, I will quickly show you. You can there see, blown up, you can see little teeth mark, and you can see where the wires, just little pieces of wire and copper still sticking out, of how they chewed it off. This thing was active and running and plugged in and was shocking the, daylights out of it. And I know you won't believe this, but they somehow figured out, maybe it was just accident, I don't know, but they figured out if we can chew this thing down, this hurting will stop. Then we can dig, and then we can get out. And that's what they did. So long story short, that's what they did. They were gone. We found them again. I mean, it's a real pain because you have to ride up and down. You have to, but they cause such a commotion when they get out. You find them within 30 minutes. I mean, cars are honking, people are yelling. I mean, they're cute dogs. I mean, yeah, sure. But anyway, we found them, and eventually my wife found a new home for them. Not a doggy farm, a real home. They had apparently some nice property somewhere. They wanted both, and we gave them both to them, and that was the end of it. That was the end of Baster and Stimpie. But I will never, ever, ever in my life, ever again, get a Beagle dog. Maybe if you have a farm and you want to hunt ducks or something, that may work. But other than that, no, that would not be for me. So anyway, that's Baster and Stimpie. I hope you enjoyed it. And do not call Peter. We love dogs. We do love dogs. All right, that's about it.